Welcome back to the Sad Dad Games podcast. I'm Shan.
I'm Eric.
I'm back.
And I'm Emerly.
Are
and
you
Tucker.
Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
But you said it in the
I missed
worst
one
way
episode.
possible. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'll
Tucker
be
missed an
back,
episode.
and I am back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, so we're doing Resident Evil 4, The Island, Act 3, and I'll just lightly touch on the Assignment Ada DLC. It was separate ways in the Resident Evil 4 HD, the original. Well, I call it HD just because it's an easier name than just calling it Resident Evil 4 Original or whatever, but yeah, so they renamed it.
I was going to say, didn't the Assignment Ada, that was when because it originally came out on GameCube, and then when they released the PS2 version, that came with the Assignment Ada, didn't it? Or was that not till the HD version? I'll look it up.
Yeah, you look it up.
Because I don't know. I don't remember. I thought for sure that it came out with the PlayStation 1 because I was pissed because my buddy got it, but I didn't.
I ended up playing the remake version of it because I hadn't played it yet.
So it looks like it did release on GameCube, but like it was kind of before DLC, so they just like sold the game again with it packed in this time, I think.
Okay. Was it like the player's choice version or something?
Yeah, that seems like what it was, is they had the OG launch and then they launched another version. Kind of like how they do with Street Fighter games, where they didn't do DLC, they just would launch new versions of the game with more fighters every like year.
Yeah. Did you realize that like original games had different versions and those versions had patches, and that's how they used to do it? I used to think that just like all games had a single version, but now speedrunners have to go and track down specific carts.
Yeah, well, we talked about this a little bit when we were doing our Ocarina of Time episode. Like there was different, because it came out a little earlier in Japan, and so Japanese cartridges have some differences compared to American ones. Like they fixed a couple of little bugs, and also in the Fire Temple there was and the music track had Islamic chanting in the Japanese version, which the developers didn't realize that's what it was, and so they removed it when they released it for the American version. So like little differences. Yeah, so older games, before they could patch things out with DLC, they just would release a different version with some of the bugs fixed and some of the things patched out or whatever. So
yeah. All right, so Act 3, The Island, we had just beat Ramon Salazar, and we had gotten on the boat with Ada, and not in the original. We had almost this same identical cutscene where you're riding in the boat with Ada, and Leon is butthurt that Ada's just kind of duplicitous, and he wants her to be a good person, and he's kind of in love with her in some weird way that it doesn't feel like it's there's any real chemistry, but he's into her anyway. Do you feel chemistry?
Pretty. Ada is pretty, ergo that's all. Like in the early 2000s,
smoochy.
that's all it took. Like we're making a movie / and or other piece of media, and both of the main characters are pretty, so fate demands that they must be together.
I've never felt their chemistry.
No, same.
I don't
Don't
think
they
I've
share
ever
a
felt
kiss
any.
in Resident Evil 2? I'm trying to remember.
Do
Do
they?
they, or did I invent that in my brain?
I played the
should look
original,
that
not
up.
the
I'll look it up.
remake. I don't remember there being a kiss.
Well, if they did, they definitely reconned it. As well they should have. But yeah, so the
They share
thing
a
that
kiss
they
in the remake of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember it.
in the remake.
In the remake, so they tried to force the romance.
They
again,
made a
even though
conscious
they didn't take
decision.
the first time. Yeah.
And I completely forgot it because there was no electricity there.
Yep. None.
Okay, wow. So maybe that's why he's feeling so butthurt here. But yeah, so he had that a little aside inserted into the remake where I think I changed from Raccoon City, but have you changed, Ada? That was inserted. That wasn't in the original. So we're leaning into, can people change, that Luis also was hitting on. Lewis!
Always funny.
Yes. Leon changes and start saying Luis in the remake. However, I just played the Assignment Ada DLC, and they found ways to preserve the integrity of the original. It's actually Wesker who says Luis.
Really?
Classic Wesker.
What a
Classic
douche.
Yeah.
What a dick. I love that. It just and like people probably just won't notice unless you're just like a diehard fan, but I just loved how stupid that was.
You gotta have one white person mispronounce Luis's name at least once.
Uh-huh.
And Wesker is the whitest of white.
He is the whitest boy in all of the world.
You're the whitest boy in school.
Oh, no.
All right, so you get on the island and yeah, so you now have like machine gun puzzles that didn't exist in the original that you have to navigate as people are attacking you.
What are machine gun puzzles?
Well, just like those machine gun
So, like,
turrets
lasers?
Oh, yes, yeah.
The
You
laser
said machine gun
things.
puzzles. Like, what puzzles do you solve with a machine gun?
The
It's
best
just like-
kind of puzzles. are
Yeah,
solved
that
with
sounds like
machine
my
gun.
kind of puzzle.
Yeah.
It's just like an extra dimension to like slow you down in these areas to add a little bit of time to each
Okay.
section.
So I'm glad you say that because I was playing. I'm like, I do not remember being just in total fear of machine guns this entire section from the one time I played the original. And that makes
Except
sense.
for the guy who pops out of the door. Except in this one, it's a boar head guy. They took out the guy with the beret.
Well, they do
And
have
they
the one.
gave it a boar head guy. The boar head is now throughout the whole game, but they keep evolving him.
Well, and they do have that one jump scare where the guy, there's like a Plagas who's on fire that like jumps out of a locker or a fridge or something.
Yeah.
And that was the most genuine jump scare in the original that I had up till that point in my life. And it like, I still think about it sometimes like, man, that got me. Like,
Anytime Eric's near a fridge,
yeah, like, ooh.
he's scared of a flaming Las Plagas
Yeah.
jumping out and murdering him.
In Assignment Ada, while you're going back through that area, there's a little bass fish in there that you can pick up. So that's
So the
So-
Plagas had something to eat, so that's good.
yeah, he had cooked you some fish, and
Yeah.
that was nice. Yeah, I was playing the original, and so instead of a boar head, it's just like a giant fat guy with a machine gun, and he chases you around this area. He can kill you in just a couple hits before you get the tactical vest. And I had thought that I could hide from him on top of a building because there would be no angle for him to hit me with bolts. Like I died like 5 times because he kept hitting me from oblique angles. And so I got on top of a building, thought maybe this time he can't get me from up here. And just like all of a sudden, this guy he can't climb ladders, I thought. He just jumps up. He just flies up the building. Like
And goes,
whoa, and just start shooting immediately, and I died, and I was terrified. I started screaming, but that was a genuine scare. They solved that one.
Yeah. I love that RE4 is still finding ways to scare you, even though you've played it like a million times.
Yeah. Well, I used to play the original thinking that I could I think I used to just like run. As soon as that guy popped out, I would run backwards, hop across the ledge, and just like hop up
hang out,
wait for him to come back and like snipe him. But it wasn't working this time because I don't think my rifle was strong enough to kill him fast enough. So he was wiping me out. Yeah. Also, the giant club guys in the original were replaced with the swinging boars. So the boars are just everywhere, and they've replaced all giant guys that were in the original. So I like the boar guys. The boar guys are cool.
Yeah. Well, thematic consistency. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like all the giant guys in the original. They were okay, but these guys are cooler. Yeah. So soon after this section, you get to see the Regenerators.
What
the
is that?
Regenerators.
Oh.
The Regenerators.
These guys.
These
These
SOBs.
guys. gave me nightmares as a kid, like, because I wasn't allowed to play M-rated games, and so we had one of those little tiny TV VCR combos, like that when we were sick, our parents would like let us put it in our room so we could watch a movie or something in our room. And so what I would do is in the middle of the night, I would go and I would bring that into my room and I'd plug in my GameCube and I'd have all the lights off and the sound super low, because I was like, if my parents catch me playing Resident Evil, they're gonna make me get rid of it.
You have the blanket
And so-
sheet over your
Yeah,
head.
and so it's like 2 a.m, it's pitch black, and I'm just like scared out of my mind, just playing this game all alone in the dark by myself. And that's how I played all of Resident Evil 4 for the first time. And then these Regenerator guys are terrifying. And so I have like memories burned into my brain of just trying to deal with these idiots when I was younger, and they are not any easier this time around. Although they are quite a bit easier to deal with in VR, which was a pleasant surprise.
Why is that? Because you can turn faster?
Well, it's just easier to like get a beat on them when you are the one, like when the motion is directly connected to your hands, and it's not like your thumbs. You can like move and point and you can go like this.
It's like on It's Always Sunny when Mac thinks that he can come at Charlie with the samurai sword, and Charlie's like, no, I can just shoot you with the
click.
Have you seen Indiana Jones? Are you seriously asking me if I've seen Indiana Jones?
Just click, 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 click.
Yeah, so it's just like that. That was my experience this time, except for the really strong regenerators that like you kill them and then they regenerate again, and then you have to hit them in the head. And their head movements are super jerky, and so I still had kind of a hard time with those ones. But on a whole,
what do you mean you have to
were
hit
much
them
easier
in the head?
Yeah.
Well, they would like die, and then they would regenerate again, and then their weak spot would be on their head, the spiky ones.
Oh, that's interesting. No, you're supposed to pop them in the leg so that they fall on the ground, and then there's one on their back. There's always just one on their back.
I'm going to be real with you. I played on easy mode this time so that I would be able to get through it more quickly. And I wonder if that's why.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, so the
or
spiky
maybe they
ones,
changed it for VR. I don't know.
No, so the spiky ones, the twist is always there's a couple extra on the front and there's one on the back. And you have to pop it in the leg so it falls on its tummy, and you shoot one on the back. And then poof.
I'm going to trust Shan on this one.
No
offense, Eric, but you spent way too long on this game.
I played it. I finished up this part yesterday, and
you probably just got the plaga on the back of its head coincidentally.
Yeah, because I saw it on my thermal scope and I just shot it and that worked. So
okay,
yeah,
you just start blasting.
Yeah,
yeah. There is a section when you first encounter the Regenerators and you see that frozen art piece. What's it called? Remember on Arrested Development when they're doing that? Oh, that tableau. What's that called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When they're doing that, like that art piece of and George Michael has to...
where
tableau
Christian had.
Yeah.
So this thing where Buster and he has like the little
where they're
muscle
posing
suit,
for the,
where they're posing,
They're like recreating the Michelangelo's The Creation, but they're like posing for the
Yeah, and he wears the muscle suit to impress his cousin.
Yeah. Gosh, what a great show.
Yeah, so that's what it's like when you walk in right before you meet your first Regenerator. It's like they're doing a tableau vivant, and you see the plaga that's like frozen in place, that's piercing a man that is like mid-transformation into a Regenerator.
That's what you're talking about. Okay, now I understand what you're trying to...
It's like they're doing a recreation of
we
the science experiment that created a Regenerator.
Well, I forgot that's the first thing you see when you walk into like the room, and you're right. It's kind of doing that, and then you try to walk back out, and you get attacked. You get bum rushed.
You get a couple tableau vivant. That one's in the original game, but you also get a couple other instances like this in the remake like you get like a frozen ritual of somebody's head exploded and some people that have died in its wake. So you get to kind of just see how their rituals take place and stuff like that, and how these science experiments took place. It's really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's terrifying when you like go to walk out of that room and it's super quiet. There's not a whole lot going on, and you think you're safe because you just walked into this room. You see something super creepy. I don't know what that word is you just said. The art piece. And then
Tableau vivant.
Nailed it.
It means like living painting.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for that too.
Yes, it's a Jean Valjean situation.
Yeah.
But then like you go to walk out thinking that you're safe, and then the first regenerator is just standing there silently in the doorway.
It's the shaky breathing for me. That's what all, because you're like walking around and then you hear the and you're like, what is that? And how do I stay as far away from it as possible?
Yeah. And it's so tall and just standing there. And then it just slithers all over the place.
They're the worst.
No. In the original, he starts off farther in the distance in another room that he was like in an operation room, and then he starts walking towards you, and it's still terrifying. Here, they cut out all the sound so that they could advance him to be right outside the door, so it's more terrifying. And he has the glowing eyes, similar to the Verdugo. So it's so I love that they subverted it for people that already knew he was coming, to put him like 2 feet away from you.
Yeah, well, because like you said in the original, it's like a whole hallway, and he's like walking towards you slowly, and it's very scary and very tense, and so you're expecting something like that, and then it's just like, nope, bam, he's right there.
Yeah, the doorway sounds more terrifying. For reference, for anyone listening and watching, Shan and Eric are the only ones who've played the original and the remake.
I think Tucker played the original,
Tucker
but
has.
it's
My
been
bad.
a
Just
minute.
doesn't remember.
He hasn't played it
okay,
in a long
my bad.
time. So, but Shan and I have played the original a lot. I think Tucker played it one time. So, out of the 4 of us, I think Shan is the leading authority, and I'm not too far behind.
Yeah.
I played it this week.
Yeah. Let's say the most recently I played it through. About a year ago was probably the most recently I played it, but yeah. So it's been a minute, but not too long. Yeah.
I also like in the remake they did that classic trope where you first get introduced to a monster as it's like walking in the distance, obscured from vision.
Yes. And the violin goes, "Hoonk," and then it like ducks behind a corner. And
yeah. It's the first time I got introduced to this trope was as a kid while watching The Mummy.
Shane,
Which
do
part?
you like The Mummy? I can't remember.
Do I like
I don't think you
No one
mentioned
likes
the
The
Mummy or Brendan
You
Fraser.
love the Mummy.
What was that, Tucker?
I say I don't know if I've ever heard you talk about the Mummy or Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, it's never come up organically.
Yeah.
But that moment where the guy's about to get his eyes and his tongue ripped out, and the Mummy just like shoots behind him in soft focus, and then he turns around because he hears something, and then he does it again in the foreground, and so you get double jump scare, and then he appears right before him, and the guy freaks out, and then he like rips out his eyes and tongue, and then Rachel Weisz comes in later and sees that he's missing those things, and he's freaking out. He says, help me. Yeah,
one of the cowboys, right?
Yeah, one of the GD Americans.
They're expendable.
Yeah. You don't feel bad for the Americans in that movie.
No, because Brendan Fraser is an American in that.
Yeah, well, you love him, but you don't care for the others. Right. So, but the fun thing about this take on that trope is that you have to walk down that hall. It's not just in the background. That's where you have to go to trade in the key card. But he's just not there, even though it's a dead end. So these guys are slippery SOBs.
Yeah, and this is another part where it's like they give you a key card and you have to like advance the security clearance. So it starts at level 1 and then you have to find the machine that turns it into a level 2 and then turns it, and the doors and the machines that switch them are all on like opposite sides of this area. And so you have to either kill the regenerator or like be fast and try to avoid it. So it's they do a really good job of creating a tense situation, because you have to do this back and forth in this little area just to like get out. And it makes it feel really frantic and dangerous.
Because it
Could
is.
be
Yeah,
quite
it is.
a labyrinth if you are scared.
Yes. And if you're directionally challenged like me, and so you just keep running around in circles trying to figure out where to go next. Yeah, it's a problem.
What
It is not-
call directional insanity. I got lost on an escalator one time.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's not that complicated of a location, but I got lost in there like the first 3 times I played the game very easily.
Yeah, it's definitely designed to be like just difficult enough to navigate that you feel confused and lost while you're being chased by it. But it's not a large area. It's pretty small, but they did a very good job of designing it to feel like a labyrinth, even though it's like 3 rooms and 4 hallways. It's like very small, but easy to get lost.
Right. And the remake is so much better about trying to force you to have encounters while solving puzzles or getting keys, instead of clearing then getting those things. Yeah, it was the original. It felt like it was a lot more intentional to kill enemies and then just casually run around and solve things.
Yeah, I also like how it makes you, when you first get to this area, you don't have the infrared scope yet, which is a necessary item in order to kill the regenerators. And so for the first little bit, you can't kill it. You have to just evade it or like shoot its legs out and try to run away. And like, so and especially if you haven't played the game before and you don't know like that you need the infrared thing, you're like, how do I kill these guys? Are they invincible? What do I, and you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. And you're like just unloading bullets. Like, I can't use all my ammo. And so you just keep running, turning back, shooting more, and you're just wasting everything.
They are a very well-designed video game horror enemy. I'm a big fan of their design and not a big fan of having to deal with their nonsense.
Yeah, I love that they have a maw that goes from ear to ear. And it like, and their mouth goes like all the way up like half of where their nose should be, so it's super uncanny. And they look like just a bag that they've stuffed a bunch of bones in, like broken potatoes in or something like that.
That's a very accurate description.
Yeah, well, they're like muscular but floppy, and also like undefined but like grotesque. It's just it's like someone just took an empty bag and tossed a bunch of meat and bones in it in the loose shape of a body and then like tied it all together. And they're gross and creepy. Yeah.
It's out of all of the Resident Evil games, this is the most effective regular enemy by far. Also, they are a lot better about I don't know, I like how they've redesigned this AI of this enemy, because he's very effective about grabbing you and sucking you in. and flopping his body all around, using his giant gaping mouth to just bite you and eat you alive. I don't know. They used his full body horror to just do nasty things to you.
Don't like the way you said any of that, but
Agreed.
thank you.
Yeah, super cool. If you're really stupid in the freezer, you can stab at the body bag with the regenerator to get him to come down early. So,
because why wouldn't you want to do that? You're like, I'd like to face this guy right now.
Yeah, no.
That's right.
Okay, are we to the part with the tubes? Because I have a story for that, and it's the best. We're good?
Well, one more thing.
Okay, I've been waiting.
in that section where I was describing the tableau vivant, there is a note that I thought was really funny. It's a guy describing his scientific process for creating the regenerators, and it was the classic trope. I believe, was it you, Emily, who brought this up, or somebody else, where it's like, this is the trope in every single Resident Evil game, where it's like, I wanted to do a science experiment and I am brilliant. I didn't think anything was going to go wrong. And then on the last page, and the monster broke out and everything went wrong.
That was a meme I found that I sent to the group chat.
Yeah.
It was like, we poked it with, we combined this with a gorilla and then escalated to this, and we poked it with a stick and then it escaped. That is what they all are.
My favorite thing about all of that is it's like they put a pin here. I lost my thought as I was saying it.
Okay.
So put
Shame.
that up. Yeah.
All right. Emily, what were you saying?
Okay, cool. So after this, we get to the part where you walk into a room and there's the 4 tubes, and there is a regenerator in each of the tubes, kind of like Mewtwo style. They're just kind of in these little chambers.
Like the tube pod, like stasis things.
Yeah, this is a brand new section in this remake.
Oh, it's not in the original?
No. Not at all.
But this is, I love this part in the remake. Very, very
It's really good.
It is. So, like I mentioned in the last episode, I had my niece play this game, and she's brand new to video games. She loves horror, but this is still kind of all new for her, and she doesn't quite understand, especially puzzles. This is like her second ever video game, I believe. But anyways, so I was watching her play Resident Evil the whole time, and I kept recording her reacting to different things for Shan, and we were both just kind of laughing at everything she was doing. But when we got to this section, I video called Shan. So I wish I had a recording of this to share with everybody, but I don't. This one was, all video chat. So anyways, she goes into this room, and I'm kind of like hinting at things, but trying not to give away too much. And even at one point, I was about to give away too much because she couldn't figure it out. And Shan's like, no, let her figure this out. But you go into this room. I think this is where you pick up the scope, right?
Yes, it used to be in the freezer in the original, and they moved it to this section because there's a lot more tension with 4 regenerators than there is with 1.
Yes. So she picked up the scope. I'm like, okay, like this, this scope is for your gun. It's for your gun. I think I mentioned that multiple times, but she wasn't going into her inventory and actually attaching it yet. And then she was trying to figure out what to do in the back. And there's like a key card. You have to upgrade your key card in the back of this room, but you can't do it until you fix it with a wrench. So she was trying to figure that out. I think I finally told her, like, you have to find the wrench. And I think I at least told her, like, it's inside one of these tubes, right? And again, try not to give too much away, but she was not figuring it out. Anyways, I was like, well, you got to find the wrench. It's in one of the tubes. She's like, oh, okay. And just without even thinking, whips out her gun and shoots all 4 tubes back to back.
Oh, blam. Done. What's next?
She sees the regenerators in there. And by her logic, instead of shooting one at a time and handling one regenerator at a time, she shoots all 4, and they all come slithering out, and she just starts screaming and circling this room and cannot fit. And, at this point, all she's done is waste her bullets on the previous regenerators, right? Like, she hasn't figured out, even though I kind of mentioned the scope, she still wasn't listening to me. So she was just like running around screaming, like shooting at them, and just, it was absolute chaos. And Shan and I were just dying of laughter. Like it was the most entertaining thing that has ever happened. And eventually I was like, she, did, after a little bit of coaching, she finally figured it out and, attached her scope and actually was able to find the wrench inside of one of them, go fix the thing in the back, and then I think she ran away from the other 3 regenerators.
Yeah, there's no way she could have killed all of them. But Emily was like about to give the whole thing away. I was like, why would you deprive me of this humor?
I'm sorry.
And I did not expect it to turn out that way. It was so much better than anyone could have possibly expected.
The way she immediately just whipped out that gun, and there's just not a thought in her brain, was just like,
It's gotta be
okay,
in one of these.
boom, 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 boom.
That's funny.
When
It was great.
left to their own devices.
Well, she's newer to, like I said, video games and puzzles and problem solving like this, and she's only 15. So I was trying not to give anything away, but she struggles with the puzzles.
In 2005, I feel like I could have figured out not to do that in 2000. I was 15 in 2005. I would not have done something like that.
I was 14 turning 15 in 2005 and played this game and figured it out just fine.
Okay, but some people are better at puzzles than others. She's new to like anything like this.
Well, and I'd say we probably have a higher level of video game literacy just because we've been playing, like we all played games since we were kids. So.
Yeah, and she definitely has not at all.
Oh, look, a bunch of monsters. Release the Kraken.
Yes. So
I think that's so funny because even though I've played this game a bunch of times and realistically probably could deal with all 4 of them at once, like it'd be tough, but I probably could do it. But I
Why
I was
would
like
you?
in the very back corner with my handgun, and then they slither out, and then I grab my rifle, and then pop, 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 pop. Because it was in VR, it's actually pretty easy to like one after the other. If you have the Stingray, not the bolt action one, you can just blam, 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 blam.
Yeah.
So I cleared them out pretty quick. Since I knew what was coming, but this time in VR, this room was much less of a hassle than the first time I played it.
I actually thought that this level or this room was improperly designed. I actually would have preferred that the wave of enemies came in and forced the Regenerators to be popped out with like a grenade or something all at once intentionally.
I don't know. Enemies and 4 Regenerators all at once.
But like to choose, you can choose to only take out one of them and just leave. And I just like that felt like a waste.
I wonder if maybe if they had had enemies come in and then like one of them popped open and then at a certain threshold another one popped open so that you had a chance to deal with them one at a time but also with enemies. But if you weren't fast, then all 4 of them could come at you.
Yeah, I just at least wanted you to be forced to encounter all of them. But otherwise it's just like to be in a room with 4 and for it to be a newly designed room, it just like, and not be forced to encounter them, it felt like a waste of a design. But that's fine. Because like there are other rooms, like in Assignment Ada, there's a room where I have to encounter like 6 or 9 knights all at once in a tiny enclosure, and I'm like, this is so much harder than one Regenerator at a time. Like, why did you force me to do that, but you couldn't force me to do 4 Regenerators? I don't know. Okay, well, whatever. I'll leave that one be. All right, so after that, you run out of there. You can just skip a bunch of that and leave, and you go save Ashley, give her the suppressant. You just tell her that Louise has died, and she absorbs that, and Ada pops in on your radio and tells you where the lab is to remove the parasite.
Because it's not a Resident Evil game if you don't end up in a secret lab that's creating monsters towards the end of the game. That's how you know a Resident Evil game is coming to a close, if you're in a secret lab that creates monsters.
Yeah, you think you have a new type of monster. You have a parasite, so it's not even like, so it's not even the G virus, the T virus, the C virus. It's still Umbrella. It's still
always a lab, always Umbrella. Yeah.
It's just always lab and Umbrella. Yes. All right. So you run through the boiler room. You find a Regenerator sliming out of the duct. So if you're smart and you know this is coming, you already threw Ashley into the dumpster, especially because you saw that
where she belongs. Yeah.
There's an Ashley in this dumpster.
Yeah. Because you saw the prompt as soon as you pass it, so you just throw her in there.
You mean the locker?
Oh, this is a locker. I don't think they do the dumpster in the remake.
Oh, it's different. Okay.
Probably to be nice to Ashley.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember a dumpster, but a
There
locker.
was something really cathartic in the original game about being just like, get in the dumpster. I'm going to go take care of everything. I will be back for you in a minute.
Yeah.
But she
And
was
then
a
you could
lot
just
worse in
whistle
the
for her.
original.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was very
Right.
annoying in the original.
In the remake, they took out all of placing her in the dumpster, but you, as an Easter egg, you can open up most of the dumpsters, and they put like spinels and velvet
Oh.
blues in there. Yeah.
They do that.
So you
I
went
noticed.
dumpster diving.
Yeah,
So you
obviously.
still get to go
That's where the
dumpster diving,
treasure
but there
is.
are no Ashleys in there. Yeah. So after that, you run into your first spiky boy. So I think what's shooting out of them are the Las Plagas little, I don't know, their little
leggy spikes.
spiky legs. Because back at where we saw that frozen moment with the Plaga entering the person turning into a mutated regenerator, we see all the spikes entering the body. So this would be the reverse of that, where they're spiking back out. So some consistency there. Also, they took this out. It would be somewhere around here, but in the original, you get a jump down into you get to jump down into the dumps, and you get to do a claw machine. You can grab some people and drop
that's
them
right.
down into the garbage. Yeah, I was sad that they took that out. There's like a group of 2 people. If you have the absolute perfect spot, you can grab 2 people and drop them in. And if you don't get all perfectly 3 of them, then they'll stand up and they'll come bombard your room. But then when you get to the edge to jump down, Ash is like, there's no way that I'm going down there. And this is one of my favorite lines in the entire game. Leon responds, way? And then he grabs Ashley's
So
hand.
natural.
And then he grabs Ashley's hand and he just pulls her down into the garbage dumps with her, with him.
Well, Leon is secretly a Backstreet Boy, so that tracks.
Yeah. All right. So this in the remake, how they've redesigned this, there's now a bridge that Ashley has to pull up. There's then something that you have to go unlock, and then a bunch of people come in and attack you, and there's a regenerator that comes after you out of the dumpster, out of some garbage heap, and you have to take on the regenerator and the people attacking Ashley at the same time while the bridge falls down, and pure chaos ensues. This is crazy.
Yeah, I like this part a lot. It reminded me of like an elevated version of what we experienced in the hedge maze, where you, like, a puzzle has separated you and Ashley, but she is in danger, and the level is designed in such a way that you can still shoot bullets to like protect her, but you can't physically get to her. So having to protect her while being away from her reminded me of that hedge maze part, but like cranked up to 11 because there's a regenerator and there's a bunch of tough enemies and super fun, tense situation. Yeah, the first time I played this part in the remake, I failed a lot of times. The regenerators are hard. They get me. Like, and
It's
it was
too
right.
frantic.
Yeah, well, and I had like just enough rifle bullets to deal with like a regenerator with like 1 or 2 shots to spare. And so if I missed a shot, I just reloaded the save because I was like, well, I'm not getting him this time. So, yeah.
Yeah. In the original, you're down in the dumpster. You get to throw Ashley into a dumpster immediately and then deal with 2 regenerators. There's only 1 here, but it's just pure chaos. And you kind of just have to focus on the regenerator first and stun him. And then just like every time Ashley gets picked up, you just have to like shoot the guy's leg out and then focus on the regenerator again until he's dead.
I was always partial to shooting them right in the bum. Whenever a bad guy would pick up Ashley, just pop him right in the tuchus. Don't know why. That just seemed like the best way to deal with that to me. Because they always dropped him. We shoot him in the bum and they drop her, and it worked. So,
yeah. All right. So after this, they kept the wrecking ball that was in the original, but they moved it to the outside. They took out the bulldozer completely. Probably for the best. It's very campy. It would have felt super cheesy sticking it in this grounded remake. but the wrecking ball previously was inside over a lava pit for some reason, so you can kind of like knock people into a lava pit while opening a door. It was really weird.
So not for some reason, so that you could knock people into a lava pit. That was the reason, Shan. Here is a fun way to kill people. Do that. That's what the game developers said.
That's right. In the remake, if you have a rocket launcher or 2 heavy grenades, you can skip this wrecking ball section on your own by knocking out the wall. So good for speedrunning. Yeah, this is a fun, crazy section. I love the chaos here.
Yeah, I like this battle arena. It's like the enemies keep coming in different directions. It forces you to kind of always be moving. You can't just like plop down and be picking off enemies. You have to be moving because they're coming at Ashley and they're coming at you for different angles, and there's strong enemies and there's weak enemies, and there's the bug things that jump out of people's heads and then scurry off once you kill their host, and there's ammo and stuff all around. So you like have to be moving quite a bit, and there's some light elevation to it where you can get on top of the cargo containers, and it's just a really frantic encounter that makes you literally stay on your toes.
Yes. You have to remember that we are leaving the old Resident Evil franchise out to die with moments like these. We don't get this slow pace of a few slow enemies at a time that are terrifying. It is turning into an action set piece, and that's okay. I like this hybrid approach, but you still gotta miss like the slow stuff sometimes.
Well, and you still get moments of that. I feel like the remake of Resident Evil 2 had some really good, genuine horror moments. A lot more like they have some of those more intense action parts, but they had some genuine, like slow, scary, cautious, traditional horror segments. So they're not completely dead. But Resident Evil 4, even the original, was always a little more action focused than a lot of its predecessors.
Yeah.
So Shan, you mentioned here that if you have a rocket launcher, you can kind of skip forward, and I just have a question. Do you know what your speedrun record is?
153 or 152.30-ish.
Is that the original or remake?
That's a remake.
Okay, because I just googled it, and the record is supposedly 1 hour 34 minutes with no intro.
Yeah.
So you're really close.
There's no way I'm getting down to it. You have to also understand that might be glitch. That might be with glitches. I can't do the glitches.
It says no glitches.
Okay, so no glitches. That's good. Because there's like a rifle skip that I just cannot do.
But you've tried, right?
No,
Okay.
I have not tried because it's just like some frame perfect thing that I just don't know how to do. Also, it might have been patched out. I can't remember. Also, they probably do those speed runs in a single run, and I can't do that. Mine is always like, oh, I didn't do that chapter perfectly. I'm going to load it back up, and so it's more like a concatenation of all of my chapters being done perfectly. But when you are doing a speed run of a chapter is like 5 to 10 minutes, so it's not that bad. So
well, I'm still impressed by your record.
Yeah, I guess. Still was just like 2 weeks of my life that I absolutely enjoyed. No regrets. I didn't waste it.
There was a time where Shan would text Tucker and I can't remember if this was after Sad Dads started, and so maybe it was the whole Sad Dads chat, but it might have just been Tucker and I. But it was just like he would text us like, "This is my new time," blah, blah, and then like an hour later, he'd be like, "I just did it again." And then, like, there was like a week where we just got really frequent Resident Evil 4 speedrun updates.
Yeah, it got to a point where Shan would just send us a time, and that we just knew.
We're like, oh yeah, cool, good job.
Well, I just remember like growing up, Shan would hog the TV downstairs in the basement. And so I would just be walking by and I just see him playing the same Resident Evil games over and over and over again. So I know you love your speed runs.
Mm-hmm. I haven't I don't think I've unlocked the. No, I did get the Chicago typewriter. That is an amazing gun.
What is that? Oh, it's a gun.
It's just a Tommy gun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an unlimited Tommy gun.
Yeah.
That was actually my preferred gun over the infinite rocket launcher.
But the infinite rocket launcher is more fun. It's
not to me.
Okay.
Well,
they're both fun.
In the original
in
game,
VR, can you dual wield them?
You better. You better.
I just found a reason to beat this game 6 times in a row.
But how do you reload them?
You don't. You just toss them aside and then get new ones.
Okay.
That's what we call, you do it when you're doing a Matrix, where you don't reload the guns. You just throw them off to the side and then you pull new ones out of your jacket.
Yeah, I don't think I was enjoying the Infinite Chicago typewriter in the remake as much as I was in the original, but I didn't like the Infinite rocket launcher in the original as much as I was liking it in the remake. I don't know, it was just a preference thing.
I always liked, because they have different outfits and stuff for the original you can unlock. I always liked putting Leon in the outfit where he's in like a sharp suit with a scarf and a fedora, and then doing the Chicago typewriter with that, because it's just like, it just felt suitably ridiculous to have him like running around this like European country mowing down zombies, just like dressed like an old school mafia man with an infinite Tommy gun. There was something very satisfying and stupid about that I really enjoyed.
I am looking this up because that is absolutely ridiculous.
Is that an actual dream/fantasy that you've had? No.
Well, it is now. Like, I'm gonna add it to my roster. Leon Kennedy, beautiful, beautiful man. But yeah, there's
Leon in a fedora. Everyone's
yeah.
It's the best.
Beautiful and absolutely ridiculous. I love this like image of him brooding at the beginning of the game with his fedora.
What are we
so
do?
gangster, so mafia.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, there's also some cool cosmetics, like Ashley you can get a knight armor.
Oh yeah,
which is poetic, but it makes her like impossible to pick up, and it reduces her damage, or it makes her impossible to damage.
I think it makes her bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fun and funny. And there's a chicken hat that reduces your damage, and I can't remember. There might be something that makes you run faster. I'm not sure.
Chicken hat?
Is it a bunny hood? Because it should be a bunny hood. Yeah.
If it's not a bunny hood, what a waste.
Yeah.
All right, so after this section, you come across the Holy Body, which is a giant amber that was discovered underneath the castle. This is a cool addition, not in the original. All right, so this giant amber they discovered under the castle. So this is where there are a bunch of tiny plagas that they would have uncovered. This is like Jurassic Park style, right?
Yeah, it's just straight up bugs and amber. It's all the way Jurassic Park.
This is where they pulled it out of the ground. And all of the villagers started to become infected with this, and Sadler became like the lord of this town. I assume, like, that's basically the lore of what happened here, right?
Sure.
It seems, well, there's some statues that you see that are Sadlers with different names, and I didn't look into it too differently, but it seems like maybe this is like an OG Sadler from back in the day discovered this and has kind of kept it in the family and has used it to influence and control this people for an amount of time. Right.
He also comes in with hooded followers, and I looked into these
They're
hoods.
creepy. Yeah.
It's a really cool design, and I couldn't find anything specific that it was referencing. There is a dating back to the Spanish Inquisition, there was a type of hood that Spanish people would wear, but it was more pointed and white.
I can see why they might have changed that design for the game. I understand that design change.
And they sometimes these days wear around Easter for Catholic holidays and stuff, but
during
Holy Week
I know what you're talking about.
This is a capirote, but yeah, they took off the point. Let's say that.
They
no
rounded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like they took almost just like a piece of really thin like cheesecloth or something, just draped it over their whole head and then like tied it around their neck at the bottom. And so you can like see the features of their face kind of poking out from like underneath the fabric, but their faces are completely covered. It's very creepy, very occult, very spooky, religious, gross, like cult vibes. Super here for it.
Mm-hmm. And Osmond Sadler, he takes off his hood. He has a growth, like a protuberance on the back of his head. It kind of looks like, I don't know, the Last of Us kind of fungus looking thing.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, it's not great. He has a Plaga staff. In the original, they talk more about it. Ada suspects that there's like a radio frequency that comes out of her staff to control the Plagas. It's a little stupider. I don't know if they mentioned that in the remake at all.
I don't remember.
I don't have it. They might have been like a note or something. I don't recall if it's them specifically calling it out.
But yeah, it might have something to do with controlling the Plagas. Alright, so yeah, Sadler introduces himself. Leon tells him to tell someone who gives a shit. So classic Leon, and shoots him in the eyeball, which is cool. So that's a foreshadowing of where you're going to have to shoot him a lot more in the future.
or just once.
Yeah. So Sadler has Ashley pick up the gun, and she shoots two of the followers, and then she pulls it on Leon. He starts talking a lot about, just given sheep. He uses a lot of these, religious platitudes. But she runs out of bullets, and then he takes Ashley and walks off. So, yeah. Was there a reason he left Leon? Does he want Leon to turn? He just has to separate the two?
It's because the game needs to keep happening, and Sadler's an idiot. Like, that's the only thing I can think of, is that Sadler understands that Leon is the protagonist, and he's got to let him there. Like,
and he's out of bullets?
There's no... I know, but Sadler is a giant, weird Plaga murder monster. Like, there's no reason why he doesn't kill Leon right here, except for the fact that the game needs to keep happening.
Maybe if Leon is to die, it needs to be Ashley who kills him, and they're out of bullets.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It seems dumb.
Okay. Well, I'm out of ideas.
So were the writers, but
Hello.
Just to be clear, I think that I love the writing in this game. I think it's just the right amount of silly, and not everything needs to make perfect sense. I think I wouldn't change a thing.
Maybe at this point he is not at. Maybe he doesn't want to kill at this point. Maybe it's beneath him at this point.
Well, doesn't he want them to both turn?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Maybe he's just separating them so they don't escape.
I mean, maybe, but at this point, Leon has proven more trouble than he's worth. Like, if Sadler's got half a brain, you could just kill that guy.
But they're so close to turning. They're so close.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
They did mention
if Leon just becomes another villager, that's a waste. Why waste so much time on just another villager? He's got to, yeah.
In the original, I don't think they talk about this in the remake. In the original, they talk about how after Vitores Mendez and Ramon Salazar dying, he has to replace them with loyal followers, and the Plagas kind of take on the traits of the people who they inhabit, and there's like a higher form of Plagas that he saves them for, and he has to reserve them for people that he knows will be loyal, and he doesn't believe that Krauser might have that trait, so he's not going to do that because he doesn't trust the Americans. And yeah, so I don't know, like, he can't. I thought that's funny that he's like worried about loyalty, but isn't the whole thing with Ashley that he can't trust? I mean, this is more the original than the remake, but he can't really trust Ashley's loyalty, but he's going to inject her anyway and send her back to the States.
I don't try to apply any level of reason to anything that Sadler does in the first game. Sadler's a straight up idiot in the first game. Nothing he does has any bearing in logic or reason. he's just like a giant cartoon villain doing whatever for no, like, and I love it. I, again, wouldn't change a thing, but he makes no sense. Nothing that he does makes, it's like if he did the opposite of what he was doing throughout the entire game, it would better serve him 100%. He is constantly getting in his own way and working against his own agenda in the original.
Yeah. Okay, soon after this, you come across a stash of dog tags from Operation Javier. I watched a YouTube video of this game. In 2009, there was a spin-off game for Operation Javier called the Dark Side Chronicles. It's like a light gun shooter with Leon Kennedy and Krauser in South America. It barely feels like it does service to what is just a bunch of throwaway lines in the original 2005 Resident Evil 4 game, because you don't see a bunch of people get killed. Like the things they allude to in Resident Evil 4 barely happen in the spin-off Operation Javier game.
That's interesting. Yeah, I just assumed that it was referencing, I didn't know that it was the Operation Javier game, but I just assumed it was referencing another game that I hadn't played. So the fact that it is, but it also doesn't really reflect what actually happened in that game is kind of funny.
It kind of does. Like, so I watched it. It was like an hour and a half watch that I was able to speed through most of. So Leon and Krauser, they get to South America. You're trying to find a drug cartel leader, and you come across that cartel leader's daughter, and she has been injected with the Veronica virus. Which is interesting to Leon because his sister Claire had been looking into the Veronica virus in Code Veronica X, right? No, Claire is Chris's sister.
I was going to say.
Okay, I was like, did I misunderstand that?
I got that wrong. Anyway, so that's how he is aware of the Veronica virus, at least.
I have not played Code Veronica, so what's the Veronica virus? Like, how can you tell the difference? Just for someone like me, get some context here.
I don't know. It still like mutates and stuff, but for some reason this drug cartel leader was able to suppress its mutation effects, and it was able to actually heal this rare genetic defect in his daughter, because he to suppress it, like it healed the disease she had, but to suppress her mutation into a monster, they had been kidnapping young women for 15 years and had been giving her constant organ transplants from those women that they had been killing. So that's pretty gross, and I thought that was interesting. Yeah. I was like, that's actually an interesting thing, if nothing else that. And by the end of this story, you take out that guy, that girl goes free and into like U.S. custody, and she's fine for some reason, and Krauser ends up like getting his arm hurt in the fight with that drug cartel guy who obviously mutates himself into a plant monster for some reason.
Obviously.
They always do. They always transform into something.
And he needs his arm healed, and so he ends up after the game, I guess, turning to Wesker and turning into the person that we find. But that's I don't know. That doesn't really add up with how we now understand the story works in Resident Evil 4, because Wesker ends up getting the virus from Krauser. Wesker injects him with it, and then I guess he takes it back, so it was more like testing it on Krauser.
I thought Krauser got his stuff from the Los Illuminados, that he's become Plaga. That's why his arm's all wonky.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just retcon Operation Javier and dismiss it as a failure, because we don't even see people die. We don't hear about apparently after this let's go with the remake. So the U.S. sent a small unit of special forces to infiltrate an area of South America to eradicate drug cartels. The entire unit was wiped out except for the commanding officer, Major Blank. Not by the cartels, but by the U.S. It was a stranded unit, but it wasn't known, which, not according to the game, it wasn't stranded, but we've retconned that. It was a stranded unit. It wasn't known if it was a power struggle or a decision of the former president himself. It was covered up.
Ba, ba, ba.
Yes, Krauser deserves to be angry about this. To have his men killed, he went rogue. He is an anarchist now, and for some reason, Leon isn't as upset about this, and he still works with the president.
Leon's like, guys got to eat. I need a job. Like,
things happen.
The only thing I'm good at. Yeah.
The U.S. just killed a bunch of special forces, and he's like, yeah, but I'm buddy with the president.
Where's everybody go? Bingo.
Yeah.
As he's standing on a pile of the bodies of his friends, he's like, bingo.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you also in that tent come across detailed plans on how he extricated Ashley from her detail. Krauser realized the only thing that matters is pure unadulterated power after he witnessed that power of the United States used on his people. So then you get into his arena. There's a bunch of booby traps and a shootout, and he then grows out both of his arms. In the original, it's just one arm. So retcon that, he now grows out both of his arms like a classic Resident Evil villain. This is like William Birkin, Resident Evil 2 stuff.
Yeah. This arena part rules. We were talking about it a little bit before we started recording, and Tucker was saying how much he enjoyed this part, and I agree. It's an awesome... I love all the little traps and the sneaking around and Krauser jumping out of nowhere. It's good stuff.
Right. Is this not Vietnam? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it seems like Krauser is dealing with some stuff, and he's processing it in a very unique way.
Also, if I stepped in one more bear trap, I was going to murder somebody.
Bear traps for days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after this, the only thing that he was missing was an eye on his arm, but they saved that for Sadler, so it's fine.
If there's not a giant glowing eyeball, how am I supposed to know which part is the weak part?
It's his legs for some reason.
It's video game shorthand for hurt this part. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so after you take him out, Leon says, "That's your true power? I'd ask for a refund."
Yeah.
And this is
what a
just
singer.
for context, this is his old commanding officer. He used to report to this man. He was very close with him. There's even a moment before Leon plunges the knife into Krauser's chest, to kill him, where he's showing it's difficult for him. He's having a bit of remorse, and then he goes, "That was your power. I'd ask for a refund." And it's he's the best. Leon is the best.
Yeah, and this was a twist. It was that. It was a joke, which seems like bathos, but he then goes in for the cliche moment for a character would be he should feel some remorse to show that he's not a dark character and he's a good guy. And I thought it was actually kind of a brilliant twist of character to show he doesn't care at all. He just goes straight in for the stab.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Well,
he hesitates for a minute, but he does in the end. He just kind of
Well, doesn't he say
very
"I trained you
revealing.
well, rookie"? Before he gets stabbed, right?
Yeah, and he's
before
like,
that?
"Yeah, you did."
Yeah. So
There's no mercy, no regret.
Well, and it's heroes are always leaving their villains alive. They're like, "I can't do it." When they find it's the thing that they've been searching for the whole game, and then they're they get to the moment where they're going to kill him. "I can't do it." you better leave town. And then the next game, it's like, aha, I'm back. And it's like, oh, really? Oh, no, I was so surprised. Like, and Leon's like, none of that nonsense. I'm going to straight up murder you.
Yeah, he's a tie up loose ends kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it reveals character, but not only that, like, it would be so stupid for him not to kill Krauser because he's a special forces trained by for the president to go and extricate Ashley. He's killed everybody up until this moment. Yeah, he has a special connection to Krauser, but he has to kill everybody who is stopping him from saving Ashley. And so it would be so stupid for him to kill everybody up until this moment and just to like regret this moment. It just wouldn't make sense just because he happens to know him. Also, it reveals that he is endeared to Ashley, I think, to just say, you know what, you hurt this girl, I'm going to not care to take your life. Anyway, so then we're starting to up the ante. We're going to beat up the energy here, and Hunnigan sends in Mike. We love Mike.
We love Mike. Mike is the secret protagonist of Resident Evil 4. He's the hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember who's Mike.
He's
Mike
the helicopter man.
Oh, helicopter man. Okay,
Mike!
I didn't know his name.
Yeah. Yeah. So here it's just, they're throwing ammo at you. They're throwing enemies at you. You're supposed to just run and gun from here to the end, basically.
Yeah.
And
it's the best. After a game of like slowly plotting and being careful and like conserving your ammo to just like shotgun, TMP, and just like get out of my way. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, this section was like barely redesigned. They threw in some extra steps but like generally the level design was just was generally the same.
Well, because they got it right the first time. Mm-hmm. They're like, why mess with... It's the same reason why the village like is towards the beginning of the game is basically the same. It's because like, oh yeah, we knocked this out of the park the first try. We don't have to change this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are extra like turrets and stuff that Mike gets to knock out, which is, well, no, I think it's about the same as the original. But if you have a rocket launcher, then you get to knock them out yourself if you want. And after all of that section, they've added Novistadores Novistadores are the ones that take out Mike instead of a rocket launcher by one of Sadler's minions. So that's different.
That is different. One of my favorite parts in the original is when Mike he's like, come on, get on the helicopter. And it's just after, like, you've met Mike just barely. He's just barely popped into the game. And you have this really enjoyable sequence with him. It's like maybe 10, 20 minutes. And you're already like, yeah, this guy friggin' rules. And then as you're about to climb into the helicopter, a rocket launcher just comes and explodes it. And he the whole rocket crashes. And then Leon just like at the top of his lungs, no, Mike! And it's the best part of the game.
Yeah.
You don't get quite as loud of a Mike, yell in the remake, which was slightly disappointing, but it's still very heartfelt. You can feel the sadness in Leon's voice as he loses his bro Mike.
Leon says he'll take him out for drinks. He's like, hey, yeah, I know a good bar. And then he dies.
Yeah.
Right. You run into your last two regenerators. So if you're dumb, then you got rid of your scope. But if you're not dumb,
our niece did. She got rid of it, and I wasn't paying attention. So she got to this part, and I didn't tell her. And I was like, you got to use your gun, dude. Like, do I have to remind you? And she's like, no, I sold it. So she was screwed.
They shouldn't let you sell key items like that. That's a game design. You make how do you deal with that if you get rid of your scope? How'd you deal with it? What did she do?
She
you just run really fast.
You got to run fast.
Yeah,
we run fast. She was
but
fine.
It was a challenge because of the
It
body
was.
bag slowing you down.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and it makes it hard to like use your scope to get a beat on them too, because there's a bunch of things, and so you can't like put too much distance between you because there's a bunch of the hanging body bags blocking your view, but you don't want to be too close to them because they'll murder you. So it's a tough scenario.
Yeah, I love that the body bags feel like an Easter egg homage to the original game, because you get to this area and it's really just like a prison cell with one regenerator that comes out and you kill it. But if you open up like a little dumpster, there's a body bag that just starts flipping around like a fish, and it's nothing. And if you stab it, it just dies.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
I don't
It's
remember
nothing.
that. No. I don't remember that.
So instead of that, you get a bunch of hanging body bags, and they're just kind of there to slow you down while the two regenerators try to kill you and slow you down. So, yeah. Anyway. But after this, you get to sell your scope.
Now you can sell it. No more regenerators.
Yeah. And then you get into a new full assault area with novistadores and enemies. There's just all types of enemies thrown at you at the same time. You run in to get Ashley from this decrepit chapel. Sadler stops Leon and claims it's too late. Tries to get to turn Leon at this point, but Ada runs in and shoots Sadler, and Leon takes Ashley and escapes to a conveniently placed lab.
It's like it's super handy that it's right there. It's like, oh no, we're in trouble. We don't have any time. Good thing it's right here in this cavern. Like,
Yep. You have hallucinations of cultists as you're about to turn. This is the worst part of speedrunning. It's like, 3-4 minutes long, and you can't run. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
yes. Also, the switching, because it switches from reality to like your hallucinations of the like this weird water-filled hallway and the cultists back and forth, which is very disorienting in VR. So that was like I had, because it would like I'd be walking and then it would just change, and I was like, oh. And I don't get motion sick or anything, but it was like lots of flashing lights had got me really turned around.
Right. And he says this time it has to be different. What's the thing he says? What's he referring to?
I think he was referring to like, this is going to cure the Plagas. They've just been stopping it up to this point. So it's like, this is it. We're going to cure it. This time it has to work, basically. But the phrasing is weird. This time it has to be different.
No, I thought he was referring to a past injustice that went wrong. I didn't know if it was like Operation Javier or something like that. Maybe
probably another reference to Operation Javier. Yeah, I think that's
it. Maybe not. I don't know. All right. Or no, he's referring to Luis. I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe. Yeah.
You mean Lewis?
Lewis. No, it's probably just I don't know. It could be any of those things. Ashley suggests Leon goes first, but clearly she needs it. The lasers are a lot more violent in the remake. The blood vessels are very black. Leon collapses. They appreciate Lewis for the lab. And then you get a lot more lore in the remake. You find a note called Sadler's Animus, explaining how he wants to control 6 billion people for peace. But Luis rejected that as no way to live. So that's where he got his turning point for his character. You find a computer note explaining the Amber as the only power that can rival Sadler's, and that it can be used against him. And another message from Ada where she was going to exchange the Amber sample for smokes and for safe passage for Luis off the island. Yeah,
I've got this ancient all-knowing evil. You traded for some cigarettes? Like,
Done deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a full rewrite. Well, it's a bit of a rewrite from the remake. The original, they're just trying to find a Plagas sample. Well, Luis has a Plagas sample that Ada wants, and Wesker is trying to get the Plagas sample. They want to research it to be able to figure out how to control people, but Ada's trying to get it to Wesker. Then she turns out she double-crossed Wesker, and she was working for a corporation that was against Umbrella. It was like some Chinese syndicate that was also into bioweapons.
It was galoshes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this one,
Thanks, Tucker. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I was trying to think of an alternative, like rival company to Umbrella, but galoshes is the person.
Tucker and I were on the same page.
Yeah.
We were like, what's a stupid joke we could put here? What's the opposite of an umbrella? And it's not galoshes, but that's the
No.
best I could do.
But here she actually changes. She arcs and makes a character decision. She, as is the theme of this game now, to change from being some duplicitous character that is betraying Leon to deciding to betray Wesker and to decide to take this amber that can control even the top types of parasites that Sadler has, and to take it from Wesker and run away with it. But we don't know why, because she doesn't believe that Wesker should have it.
She's being sneaky. Yeah. Well, Wesker, she's like asking him what he's going to do with it, and then she's like, so we're talking casualties in the millions, and then Wesker goes, billions. And then she goes up to the pilot and points the gun at his head and says, we're changing course right now. So I wonder if it's like she just realized, she's like, oh man, I should not have.
Also,
helped
she
this
was
guy.
okay with millions of people dying, but
She's like, if
billions
it's
is where
millions,
she
it's
draws
fine.
the line.
Billions, that's too many.
Yeah.
Billions? I might be included in that number.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wait a minute, I'm part of billions. Yeah.
It's like 1 in 3 or 1 in 2. But we'll get to that rewrite, because instead of a Plagas amber, we have an amber that can control Plagas, and that is like a lore rewrite that I think implies changes to the future of the franchise. And I have theories, but we'll get back to that after we wrap this up. So
We got to talk about the big bad.
yeah, the big bad. All right, so after this, we find Ada is suspended as bait. So Leon runs out there. Leon gets surrounded. I wrote Luis, but that's wrong. He's dead.
Dead.
Leon gets surrounded by Novicidores and is choked out by Sadler's tendrils. Ada jumps in to shoot because you've shot her down. Sadler mutates and Ada runs off, and she goes into this like long 5-minute thing in her DLC where she runs around the construction to fight off people and to find the rocket launcher and throw it out to him, obviously. Right, so yeah, you get into this awesome fight. It's Lovecraftian in nature. You get to shoot a bunch of eyes. He has an eye in his mouth, and he has a new second form that never existed in the original. He's giant spiraling tendrils. You get the rocket launcher. He says he'll give him a holy body.
Nah, you took my favorite line. It's
Right
out
off
of
the
all of
bat.
the ridiculous one-liners that Leon has, this is the one that genuinely, like I was playing with VR, I had to take the goggles off for a second because I was laughing. I totally forgot that line was in there. And it's just like, it's unprovoked. Sadler isn't saying anything about a holy body. Leon just like saw something called the holy body like an hour earlier. And now he's killing Sadler. He's like, I've got it. Like he gets, he like shoots him and he stuns him. He gets a spear. Or Sadler's stats is, I'll give you a holy body, and then just runs him through with it. Leon is my favorite video game protagonist. He's the best. Why don't more video game protagonists make terrible jokes? He's fantastic.
Like all of the rewritten silly jokes are grounded in some new way. But this is one that just like throws it all out, and it's like, no, this is back to original bad Leon, where this is like, there's no way I'm going down there. Way. This is like back to bad writing.
But it's like on purpose bad. It's not that they're bad writers. They're like being bad on. I don't know why it's better than actual bad writing. I'm not smart enough to like pick that all apart, but I love it so much.
Yeah, what's that line between campy and bad?
Yeah,
And
it's
it just
I think it's
fits
the
right
earnestness.
there.
They do it with such they're so earnest about how ridiculous and over the top this is that it makes the campiness and the bad writing fun instead of bad.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All right, so for some reason, Leon just lets Ada take the amber sample.
Yeah, like what? She does it. He's got like 5 guns all on his person, and she like, sorry, Leon, and then he stands up and just like watches her walk away. What the crap's that all about?
Yeah. The
What are you
amber
doing,
sample,
Leon?
it doesn't have a plaga in it, does it? Or does it?
No, it's got the amber. Well, no, I think it does. It has an amber with a plaga in it.
It has a plug in it. That's not great. I don't feel like Leon should just like let that happen.
Yeah,
But-
I think that was the most out of character moment for him. He's like, Ada gonna be Ada. Like
She saved my life so many
She
times.
saved my life.
No, you
Bitches
just
be
capped that
crazy.
lady in the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
She's about to sell that to the highest bidder and destroy the world. Shoot her.
She's about to, cause this whole thing to happen again. Do you really want to go through that again?
I don't know,
But-
maybe Leon
yeah.
likes it. This is the only way he can feel alive.
Yeah. The original game had 2-minute countdown to get off the island. This one has 3 so that they could add a new section where you're running off the island and you get to see the cultists writhing in pain and agony as their heads are exploding. This is a cool addition. I love this. Because you never got to see the whole thing falling apart and to you never think about it, but like it's a giant gaping plot hole to leave the entire island and the Valdelobos, which is this city or this island or this town. You just kind of leave it, and there's a bunch of
It'll be
villagers.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think about it, but they're just leaderless. Does that mean anything? Could they still be infected? No. Now you know definitively the thing is over because they don't have a leader to guide their plagas around. So
Well, I mean,
I
except
love
for the
that.
one that Ada has. Yeah. It's over
To start
except for
it
that
up.
one. Yeah.
but more powerful and can control even a Sadler level plaga. So that's cool.
It'll be fine.
Right. All right, so he gets the jet ski keys. You get to go through an awesome action set piece that
Also,
you can die
who
on
does
way
not
too
love
easily.
a nice jet ski escape?
I don't know, Emily. How do you feel about jet skis in video games?
I have a hatred for jet ski. How did you know? Because I rant so often about the first Uncharted. The controls are just so terrible when you get on those jet skis, and you can't navigate in the water. And I always have to bring that up. Thank you.
I need to play it again so I can remember what you're talking about.
Oh, it's so bad.
But,
I
No, you
remember-
get
I
caught
just
in a
remember it being
whirlpool.
clunky. Yeah.
It's so clunky. It's clunky. That's what it is. Go back and play the first one. It's the worst thing I've ever played in my life. Just that jet ski part. The rest
When
of it is
they
great.
even like remastered them, it's like you couldn't fix that one thing.
I honestly don't remember not liking it. I'll have to go
I'm
back
with
and
you,
play it and
Eric.
see.
I'm like, that was not even a faint memory.
It didn't.
Hey, I'm on a
If
jet
it
ski,
was
this
bad,
is
it wasn't
fun.
bad enough for me
Yeah.
to pay attention to it. Yeah.
Oh, I was infuriated.
Yeah. I was
And so
infuriated.
I play a lot of older games, and so I have a high tolerance for like old school jank in some regards. So maybe I just might not have noticed.
This is above and beyond bad.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. Go back and
I'll try just
get
the jet
back
ski
to me.
parts.
Yes, because I bring it up. I've brought it up in too many podcast episodes. It's just my rant that I just have to bring it up. I'm sorry.
I will say for the jet ski part in this game, when you're playing like in normal with the controller, it's super fun and exhilarating. And Leon's doing like 360s over the jumps and stuff as he's escaping because he's a badass and he's the coolest boy in school. But in VR, it makes you hold the controllers like handlebars, and you go like this to turn. Except for like it wasn't. I had to like turn my whole body sideways to get it to register any kind of a movement. I hated this part in VR. It's the only part of the game that I played in VR that I was like, this is decidedly worse. Everything else was fantastic. They were out to lunch the day when they were designing the jet ski part for the VR version, but Everything else is fantastic, but yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer to have such an awesome experience, and I died like 3 times trying to do it because I just couldn't control the jet ski. So
Yeah. One hit death.
not
is
like
a
ran
bit
out of
of a
time,
bummer.
like ran into walls and ran out of health, died. Like that's how bad the controls were for the VR version.
Mhm. Yeah, at the end of this section, you get a cutscene where Ada asks, so Ashley asks to have you assigned to her detail, and Leon says she can handle herself. So this is just about the only thing in the game that has subtext to it.
Well, it's because in the original she was a little more overt.
Yeah.
She says like, hey, I could talk to my dad, you could be assigned my detail. And then in the original she's like, hey, how about after this we put in some overtime? And she says it like she's like, and it's like, I don't really like. I always was under the impression that Ashley was like 16 in the original game. She's not. She's older. But it like always gave me super creepy vibes. As like, oh, like that. You're being weird. Like,
Yeah,
Also,
and he
yeah,
just brushes
what she's-
her off in the original.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Baby
go on.
Eagle does not do any justice to her age, because if she's supposed to be some, romanticized figure, Baby Eagle, not the.
well, it's because the president is the eagle.
Well, I know, but does it be Baby Eagle? Could be
I don't understand the point you're
Adolescent
trying to
Eagle.
make.
I don't either. Anyway, I lost it. Put them over here.
No, don't put a marker. Let
It's
Tucker
already-
live in his
it's already
shame.
marked.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll decide later.
All right. So, yeah. So the reason for this rewrite, it's an Easter egg for people who love the original that want the sexual undertones, that Leon can get some if he wanted it. He can get it from Ashley. He can get it from Hunnigan. He can
And-
get it from Ada.
He can get it from me.
All
Yeah,
the
that's
stars
right.
can get it.
Yeah.
But
Isn't
in the
that-
original,
isn't that the thing? Stars? Is that their...
Yeah.
Star
Yeah,
Labs.
okay.
Yeah.
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 There we go.
in the original, he brushes off Ashley and then immediately comes on to Hunnigan.
Yeah.
And-
It's fantastic. Well, yeah, 'cause they don't have a conversation in the remake, but in the original, he blows Ashley off like hard, just nope, no thank you, and then immediately gets on the radio with Hunnigan and was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember what he says, but hits
It's
on
like-
her overtly and immediately.
It's like Hunnigan doesn't have glasses, and he's like, "Hey, you don't have
yes.
glasses." And
You
how's
look
about
pretty cute without your glasses. How about
How's
we
about
go on a
you
date
and-
sometime?
Yeah, how's about you and me?
And it's just like I love that in the original that it's just like Ashley, or that Leon is there to get Ashley but doesn't care about her at all. He's just like, this is the mission, you're the mission, I'm gonna get you home and then I'm gonna be done with you. But then as soon as he's on the radio with Hunnigan, he's like, oh, hello. It cracks me up every time. So you lose a little bit of that in the original, which is probably a good thing because, you know, Leon's being not super nice to the ladies in his life.
To be clear, she still wants some, but
Yeah.
him saying she can handle herself, it is him saying, "Hey, you did a good job," while also saying, "Hey, back off, I don't want you."
Yeah.
So it says both, which is just about the most clever dialogue that they've written the entire game.
Yeah, it is less funny than the original, but it gets the job done more expeditiously. So
Yes. All right, so after this, we get a cutscene where Ada asks Wesker about the Amber. 100 will give their lives so that one may live. Who's that one? Is it Wesker? I don't know. I don't understand that calculus. That is not utilitarian.
so that's a weird. Usually people flip that. Like,
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember because I feel like in Resident Evil 5, and I'm vaguely remembering this, in
Right.
Resident Evil 5, I think there's a personal relationship with Wesker where like a loved one is dying, and this is like he's using the Ouroboros as a cure. He's trying to cure something. Very vaguely,
Okay.
it's been a while, so I'm thinking Wesker's motivation is to save that one person, so he doesn't care how many people die. I think that tracks with 5 lore as well.
Okay. Well, that
But
sounds
again,
like
it's
a.
super-
But that sounds like a. Well, if they happen to die for one person, that's fine. It sounds like in this one, he just wants billions to die. Which is
I've never
different.
played 5. I was trying to Google it, but I don't. I don't see an answer super quickly.
Well, and I think that they're going in. They're clearly going to retcon some things because they've rewritten some character decisions. So Ada no longer is working for. She no longer double-crossed Wesker for a Chinese syndicate, and that might mean that. So Ada originally was in Resident Evil 6, and she played herself. She also played a clone of Ada Wong.
Of course.
Yeah. I don't remember this at all. I had to watch a synopsis of it, and it was batshit crazy. But some person was so infatuated with Ada Wong that he took the C virus and used it to mutate somebody into the likeness of Ada Wong with her DNA. And so there's just like, you know how there's like the 3 or 4 storylines that interweave with each other. And so you are to believe that this is actually Ada Wong doing a bunch of awful things, but it's actually somebody that is cloned to be Ada. And so Ada, in her own story, is trying to clear her own name. And the clone Ada is working for Neo Umbrella because Umbrella's shuttered, but there's a Neo Umbrella. I think they're retconning Resident Evil 6 completely. I think that's the direction they're going.
I'd say that I'd imagine that they would do a remake for RE5 because that one was
they are definitely
fairly retro and really popular. But RE6 was pretty universally disliked. Most people didn't like that one, myself included. I played it for about 4 hours and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So
Is it really that bad?
I didn't like it at all. And you play as Leon for like a third of it, so it was disappointing.
Yeah. You play so Resident Evil 5. They're clearly going to do it. It has Wesker and Chris, and you're in Africa, and so they're building up to that. Wesker, at the end of this, especially in Assignment Ada, he doesn't get the amber, but he ends up going back for Krauser to get his body for a sample that he ends up using to mutate into what he needs to be for Resident Evil 5. And then his story closes out in Resident Evil 5. But Resident Evil 6, you have Jake Muller, who is Wesker's son. And he's played by, drumroll please, Troy Baker.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. Anytime it's a voice actor, I just assume it's Troy Baker.
Yeah. I didn't know who that was until today.
I didn't know that until just now, yeah. And like I said, I played the game, but it was before I was really familiar with him, so.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate for him.
Everybody's got to take crap jobs sometimes. Troy Baker's got to make a living.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it plays out with Jake Muller, Ada Wong, Leon Kennedy, Chris Redfield, and Sherry Birkin, all grown up, who's been trained as an agent. It is awful. It's got a couple good monsters, but it turns into a pure action set piece. There's like a mutant that's a dinosaur for some reason.
How can you make that not awesome? That sentence sounds awesome.
But why is it shaped like a dinosaur? It just doesn't make sense.
Because awesome. That's the kind of silly camp that I feel like a game with the confidence of Resident Evil 4 could pull off.
Mm-hmm.
But a game like Resident Evil 6 cannot.
And it also, like, you think of every single action set piece that an AAA Fast and Furious movie might have, and Resident Evil 6 has it. So you have helicopter jumps, you have chase scenes, you have all of these things, and everything that a Resident Evil game should not have, and this game has it. And that's how you know that they've gone off the rails. And there is an overabundance of ammo. It is impossible to run out of ammo. So it's not a survival game.
Yeah, it just doesn't understand what it wants to be.
So it just kept compounding the wrong lessons after Resident Evil 4. So do they, because of this, I think what I'm getting at is Wesker still gets probably written out in 5, but I think that if they wanted to, Ada could be done here if they wanted, or they could take Resident Evil 6 in a completely different direction if they wanted to bring her back, or they bring Ada back for Resident Evil 9, because I think Leon's going to be in it.
Man, I hope so. At the time of recording, there was an Evil 9 trailer dropped just a few days ago. It's toy.
Yeah. What do you think? We're getting a lot of Leon right now, and I think he's got to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, more Leon, more great.
It'd be funny to like give. I realize we just have Resident Evil 0, 1, 5, and 6, and Veronica that's left that they might do remakes of. That's not that.
I'd like a good remake of RE1, because I like that game a lot, but I hate the ink ribbons thing. Like, if that's the only thing that they fixed so that you could save as many times as you wanted, that game would be perfect for me. But I'd love to see what they do with like a proper one of these big budget, like full remakes that they've done for the rest of the series for Resident Evil 1. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. I wish that they could give like DLC to 3 to fix it, but
To fix what in 3? Because you love 3.
I love, if you didn't know that the original existed, then you could enjoy the remake. But it shit all over the spirit of the original.
Yeah, I never played the original, and even I think that it's a good game. I enjoyed it, but there were parts that, like the design, it just wasn't as tight as it could have been, and it was really very short. And I don't mind short games, but it felt like it finished before it was done, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought the game was going to keep going, and then it just kind of stopped. I was like, oh, that was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be.
And what this Resident Evil 4 remake taught me is you basically don't cut anything. If there's anything that was even kind of weak about the original, you just figure out how to make it better. Yeah. And everything that I thought was basically cut, there's only a couple things that were truly cut, like the bulldozer. And I can't even remember the other thing.
But even then, they're not like whole levels or sections. It's like little aspects about some of the levels.
Yeah, and only things that it was so minor. But even things that I thought were cut, I just played Assignment Ada, and they just cut it to move it to the DLC so that campaign was longer. So like the Gigante, that after the fight scene with Luis in his cabin, how you get a bifurcated path and you can fight a Gigante, you now can fight that as Ada in a different way. The U3 is now been kind of rebranded as a Passante, and it's her in like first 2 acts it's her main villain. So his left-hand man, the black robe, is her main is her secondary villain, and it completely changes the trajectory of her DLC, and it's really, really good. Even like the gondola section, I thought that was gone. That's just been moved to her DLC, and it's on the island instead. So tiny little things that I thought were gone, it's just moved. It all still exists. It's amazing, and this is what a remake should be. On
kind of like a closing thoughts sort of a thing here, I'd agree. I think that Resident Evil 4, the remake, is probably the best remake I've ever played, and is a template and an exemplary example of like, this is how you do a remake. You take the spirit of the original, you change things that need to be updated, you find ways to surprise old players without changing the spirit of the original. They walked that line pretty much perfectly. It's an excellent game.
Yeah, can you think of any other remakes that you even enjoy? Like Link's Awakening was pretty great remake.
Oh, I loved that one.
Link's Awakening's not a remake. Oh, sorry. No, I'm thinking.
I was like, what would you call it?
No. Shush. I messed up. I was thinking A Link Between Worlds as like a lot of the titles have Link in them. Link's Awakening for Switch was definitely a remake, and that one's fantastic. But it's a weird half step between, like, because it is graphically remade from the ground up, but the gameplay and the dungeon layouts and even how you move around the world is unchanged. So it's like the gameplay experience is basically identical. It just has a new coat of paint and like a lot of quality of life improvements. Whereas the Resident Evil 4 remake, it's like a whole new game that adheres to the spirit of the original, but changes a lot of things. And so it's an interesting conversation about like what is a remake and what's a remake. It's a
I was going to say
yes,
reimagining too. I was like waiting for an opening to say it.
I'm sorry, I was rambling and you guys were just waiting for me to shut up.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so any reimaginings that you can... Dead Space, that was a good one. That was a great one.
Oh, I haven't played that one yet. I have it. I just haven't gotten around to it. The Dead Space remake.
Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. Oh, continue your thing.
That one, no, that was... as far as reimaginings go, that one is also like a perfected form of its original in a reimagined way. And like there are just not very many games that I feel like have really gone through this template and done it really well. Yeah. So it's really just like Resident Evil games and Dead Space and that game, and I can't really think of many others.
Yeah, me either. I will say I haven't played the original Resident Evil 2 or 3, but I played the remakes, and I really, really like the remake for Resident Evil 2. That game rules.
That game rules.
Yeah.
So what the Resident Evil 3 got wrong? Again, like I really like the remake if you ignore the original, because it's just like a cinematic action game. And so it's really fun like that. It's kind of like an on-rails movie. And so it can just be really fun to just plow through the game. I really like Jill as a character. It's well acted and all that stuff. The game. We know that you like Jill as a character. Yeah, exactly. But they cut entire sections, even though it's already a short game. So they cut the clock tower. They cut I think there's like a zoo area, and they cut some story. And then just
didn't it have multiple endings? The original didn't it?
Have different... So the main thing that they cut that would have added replayability. The reason that the original felt longer is because they had the ability to make split second decisions like 10 different times in the game. So Nemesis appears out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, you have 3 seconds to decide. Are you going left or right? And whatever you did completely changed how the game played out for like the next 30 minutes. And those decisions compounded and could ultimately change how the game finished and who died in the game. And so you'd want to play the game like 6 to 8 times to be able to get all of the different compounding variables and decisions, and they completely axed that in the remake. So there's only one way to play the game, and it ruined that. And that it's sucks extremely for linear, a short game,
4-hour game.
Yeah, that really blew.
Well, I played the original on 3, and yeah, it was pretty fantastic. I wasn't expecting to love it as much.
You played the original 3?
Yeah. On your Steam Deck.
Yeah. And you squealed like a baby whenever Nemesis jumped into like the Stars police department and everything, right?
I did. Well, I squealed like a pig at the slaughter. Wee, wee, wee.
He is so much scarier in the original than he is in the remake.
Really?
He's cool
That's disappointing.
but he's cool in the remake, but he's scarier in the original
Yeah.
because of the fixed angles and that rocket launcher that is so much harder to escape.
Yeah. It is pretty terrifying. You're just like running around this whole town and everything is just crazy. And then suddenly he just shows up and can't do anything about
Surprise!
it.
Surprise, bitches. You've only played 4 and 5?
Yeah. And I started to play 6 when we were in college, and I think I watched you play most of it. I remember being just adamantly upset watching you play and seeing that you can move and aim at the same time. Because that was I think that was the first iteration. After because it forced you to stop in 4, the original, and in 5.
Yeah, because Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5 hadn't figured out that there was another joystick on the controller that they could also use.
But man,
one joystick forever.
I think I mentioned it before, but that's one of my mechanics that I miss because it adds so much more terror in any firefight. You just have to stop and aim. And you can't. Yeah.
No, you have to run away first, find a wall, then turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is kind of like a lost flavor that some of those old over-the-shoulder games had.
So
yeah, they can't go back.
Yeah, 4, 5, part of 6 I've played, and you should play the remakes for 2. For the remake for 2 is really good. It's Leon again. It's a lot like this one. You should play that one for sure. Yeah, I remember I watched Yushan play 1 on something in college, I think, and then probably your laptop, your torrent computer.
Yeah, probably.
That sounded like a motorboat when it ran because it was so hot all the time.
It did not want to emulate.
Yeah.
Yushan said, "Do it anyways."
No, you can emulate GameCube. I said so.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like I need to play the other games, mostly to understand the lore. Because
7 and 8 are really good too. You should play those.
I started to play 7, and then was having a hard time adjusting to the first person and sneaking around that GD kitchen in the beginning to get the key. I just got so frustrated I quit.
So the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the game.
Resident Evil 7 is genuinely one of the scariest games I've ever played. That might
be the scariest. It's hard to
I had a hard time getting through it. It's like it was another one of those games that I had to play in 20-minute intervals. It took me a couple months to beat it because I just couldn't handle it for too much at a time. Yeah, RE7 is very scary.
I just have too much dread wanting to pick it up again, so I usually don't. But 8 is just a pure joy to come back to.
8's fantastic.
Well, I've done Resident Evil 0. I haven't finished it because I was playing it on Shan's Steam Deck and I was really struggling with when it was switch to the next GameCube disc. And I couldn't figure out how to do it on the Steam Deck. I spent a whole day trying to figure it out for Resident Evil 0 and 1. So I still need to go back and finish 0. I was really enjoying that. And I'm trying to work through them in order. So I did that one. Then I did Resident Evil 1 Remake. I finished that one. And then I did Resident Evil 2 twice, as the 2 different characters. That was the original. I have not done the remake on that one. Resident Evil 3, I did the original, not the remake. And then I did Resident Evil 4 Remake. And so I'm slowly working through. I'm going to go back and do the remakes eventually for 2 and 3. And
the original for 4. Don't forget that one. It's so good.
Okay, I'll try. I really struggled with not being able to use both joysticks.
If you play one of the more modern, if you buy it on your Switch, it uses both joysticks.
Oh, okay. Shan had it.
You can't that's how you control. You can't move and shoot at the same time. But you can when you stop and aim, you can use the right joystick to aim instead of always having to use the left one.
Okay.
So buy it on wait for a sale, buy it on your Switch for a couple bucks or something.
Okay, I didn't know I could do that. Yeah, it's I still like, I love Zelda, and I've played so many of the Zelda games, but I cannot get myself to finish Skyward Sword for the same reason, is because I Twilight Princess is my favorite, and you can run around and swing your sword at the same time. And then Skyward Sword, when you try to use your sword, your character stops. So you have to move a little bit, swing your sword, move a little bit, swing your sword. And so I just can't. I've tried to replay that game so many times. Every couple of years I pick it back up again. Still have not finished it. So that's frustrating to me. But if I can do it on the Switch, I'll do it. I'll look into it. So, I'm working through the whole series. And so I need to pick up 5 again and finish it. And I won't allow myself to move on. But I really want to get to these later ones that you guys keep talking about, the better ones.
Well, 5 is the same way as 4 control-wise. So if you're going to play that one, snag that one on Switch or whatever you like. Not an emulated version, like a proper version, because that one has a similar control scheme to the original 4.
That one Shen has on. I have like most of his PS5 games, so I have quite a few of the Resident Evils on PS5. I took his Steam Deck up to a cabin last summer, and I was burning through as many Resident Evil games as I could. But now I have I have a lot of these on the PlayStation moving forward. Nice. I just got bored with 5 at the beginning, and I've just been too busy to pick it back up. But I can't move on until I do. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, Eric is come lately to the franchise, but he's also burned through them the last couple of years by demand. And you've gone through all of them.
Yeah.
Almost.
I have a couple of gaps. I played the original Resident Evil like forever ago, but that one's been a minute. I haven't played 0, and I haven't played 5, and then I haven't played the originals for 2 and 3. So I've got a few gaps, but I've played quite a few of them. And Veronica X, yeah. So, but I did play Resident Evil Revelations is another kind of just like a side one. That game's awesome. One of the best Resident Evils. Genuinely great game. And I got
first and second.
The first one, and then I got about halfway through the second one, and I got busy and didn't get a chance to go back to it. But that's one that I want to go back to because I actually quite enjoyed that one. But Resident Evil Revelations, I originally played it on my 3DS because that was what it originally launched on, and that game kind of rules. It's an awesome game, way better than it has any business being for a 3DS game.
Yeah. Yeah, I've played 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2, 3, 4 Remake, and Revelations 1, 2, and Outbreak. And I think that's it.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
Are there any you haven't played?
Yeah, all of the spin-offs.
Javier or whatever, Code Javier. Was it?
No, it was
Javier.
No, it's Operation Javier, but that's not the name of the game. Okay. Operation Javier game is called The Dark Side Chronicles.
So hardcore.
It would be so hard to find all of these games because there's like a bunch of like rail shooters and you'd need to find the guns and everything.
Well, there was a minute before Resident Evil 4 came out where Resident Evil was trying to figure out what they were. And so they made like a million spin-off games where they're like, maybe we're this. And so they're like between RE3 and RE4, there's like 2 to 4 spin-off games that are not very critically regarded and are very weird.
I didn't know there were so many.
I did have a light gun, and I don't remember what the game was that I played, but that was one that I think I was like on a boat, and that one was terrifying and fun. I had this like blue light gun for shooting at the TV, and it was a romp, but the story was vapid, obviously.
Well, it's Resident Evil, so
that was hardly the point. Give me some monsters. Yeah. Well, anything else? Any other closing thoughts about this love letter to the franchise? This is, I think, my favorite franchise, and for it to have existed and survived this long, I am genuinely surprised that I hitched my wagon to this franchise so early, and that it was about to die at one point, and then
right before RE4. Well, and
Really?
then again right after RE6, yeah.
Especially after RE6. And then just like out of nowhere, RE7 just like came out of nowhere, and it's like, by the way, we're the only horror game that exists right now, and everybody's like, oh, horror is good. And so it just like completely rebirthed and was like a renaissance to the horror franchise in general. And just like now we're just like eating well, just all horror games. We're getting like 2 or 3 great horror games a year, and I'm excited for so many games that are coming out lately.
Well, and Capcom in general, that Resident Evil 7 was like the beginning of Capcom getting their crap together and making awesome games. Mm-hmm. They've like, because Capcom's always been very well regarded and they make a lot of great games, but the last like decade or so, they can't miss. It's like banger after banger, just awesome games.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, I don't love Resident Evil 7 only because it's not like a classic Resident Evil game. It is terrifying.
It's literally about an evil residence.
No, but it because it's first person.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
because it's not first person, and like it is a fantastic horror game. It is the scariest game I've ever played. So if I don't think of it as a Resident Evil game, I love it. But if I'm trying to think of it as like a campy B horror movie game where I'm running around collecting items to get around a mansion and stuff, like it doesn't feel like it's true to that, and it's got none of the characters, so it doesn't feel like it's even part of the story. It's got mold. It's a completely like shunted off story. Yeah. And that's fine.
Well, that's one of the things I liked about Resident Evil 8 is because I feel like it took some of the things that worked really well from Resident Evil 7, but then injected it into like what makes Resident Evil silly and campy and larger than life and stuff. So very cool series. Big fan of all the games that I've played. There hasn't really been a bad one in the bunch except for Resident Evil 6, but we don't talk about Resident Evil 6. But yeah, just good stuff, man. Love it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I'm looking at I'm looking at the Switch Online, and there are a bunch of Resident Evil games that say they're all 50% off for the next 14 days, probably because they just dropped the trailer for Resident Evil.
Buy it. Buy them
Yes.
They know you're thinking about it.
Yes, they do.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give them my money again. Guess what? I just made a mistake. And because I upgraded to like the PS5 disc of Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I went to go get the Ada DLC, and I bought that, and then I realized that there was some DLC in a pack that I needed for the core game. And so I went to go buy that separately, and then I realized that the Ada DLC was included in it. So I had to buy the DLC twice, and I couldn't refund the Ada DLC because I had already started downloading it. And that's their red line. And so I paid $10 I didn't need to pay, and I was infuriated. So that's nice.
Bunch of boobs.
So no, I'm not going to give them more of my money to that 50% sale. Actually, that's probably why I saved money on the DLC, because it was I'm
going to see if there's any Resident Evil games I don't have on my Switch. I probably have most of them already. This is a good reason for maybe I'll play Resident Evil 5 now. This is my end.
Do it.
They do have Resident Evil 5 for $10, and they have some other ones I don't recognize, like Dead by Daylight.
Oh, that's a different game with Resident Evil themed DLC.
Oh, seriously? Okay. I was like, that sounded like a different game completely, but still, it's interesting. There's quite a few to choose from.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Please like, comment, subscribe. You can find us wherever you find podcasts, and follow Eric's Indie Corners on Thursdays. Bye, everyone.
Outro. Bleep-a-doof, bleep-a-deep, bloop-a-dee-blow.